In my last podcast, I discussed how companies are using blogs. I also discussed some advantages and disadvantages to company blogs. For this podcast, I will provide tips for creating effective company blogs. I will begin with some things companies need to think about before launching a company blog. Then I will discuss what companies should consider after they have started a company blog. First, companies should decide what they want to gain from creating a company blog. For example, companies may seek to increase their credibility. They may also want to improve customer service or to create an early warning system. Over time, company blogs can serve each of these purposes. However, companies should avoid creating a blog to get revenge or to attack industries or other companies. This type of blog can backfire easily and very quickly. Next, companies should identify the audiences they wish to target. By focusing on certain audiences, you can zone in on the needs of those audiences instead of trying to create a blog that meets everybody's needs. By focusing on a particular audience's needs, you're more likely to gain their respect and increase the likelihood that they will return to your blog. And creating a group of readers who will return frequently is an important key to having an effective company blog. The next tip companies should think about before creating a blog is surveying other blogs. Individuals should look at other blogs about the same subject matter. This will help you get a feel for others' personalities and their missions. And knowing their personalities and missions can help you differentiate your blog from other blogs. The next tip deals with who you should be recruiting to post on the blog. Bill Komkowich, who has developed and produced interactive multimedia communication programs for Fortune 500 companies for over 20 years, suggests that companies should consider selecting an individual to be the star of the company blog. Komkowich recommends selecting someone who is very knowledgeable and passionate about the subject matter and about the company. This individual should also have strong opinions and have strong writing skills. But strong writing skills do not have to be boring. In fact, it helps if the blogger has a sense of humor and can express their humor through writing. They should also be respectful of others and have the ability to remain calm even when others have outbursts. Selecting a respectful and calm person will help to ensure that the topics do not turn into personal attacks of others. In addition, this individual should be respected by his or her peers. The final tip for companies thinking about creating a blog is recruiting a champion. And by champion, I mean companies need to find a powerful executive who will defend the blog even when the company attorneys want to shut the blog down. This individual should realize that there will be bumps in the road, but in the end, a blog can be an effective tool for connecting with consumers and other important audiences. If a company follows each of these tips, they can greatly increase their chances of creating an effective company blog. In the next segment, I will be discussing what companies can do after they have put their blog online. First, companies should decide where they want to host their blog. The most popular are Blogger, LiveJournal, TypePad, Movable Type, and WordPress. Blogger, LiveJournal, and WordPress offer free blogging services, but TypePad and Movable Type do require some money for advanced services. Some companies such as Sun Microsystems, General Motors, and also Microsoft host blogs on their own web servers. However, companies should realize homegrown blogs require substantial technical support from a company's technology department. Next, companies should use the first 15 to 25 posts to attract attention and to generate buzz. This can be done in a variety of ways, including providing important insights about your subject or your company. You can also tell touching stories or use humor to bring readers to your blog. The key is to connect with the target audience and provide content that is interesting and engaging. The next tip relates to how often the company blog should be updated. To bring readers back, new material needs to be posted frequently and consistently. Comkowicz suggests it should be updated daily or at least once a week. Next, the blog post should be written in an informal and conversational style. Short and interesting posts are most effective. The goal is to make reading the post quick and easy so that readers can scan the content. You should also provide links to stories or ideas you reference in the blog. There are a couple rules company bloggers should always remember. First, bloggers should always remain civil. Although strongly expressed opinions are interesting to readers, it is important that bloggers do not personally attack others because individuals will very quickly be turned off by this negativity and they are less likely to return to the blog. Second, bloggers should never lie or try to hide information. You will get caught, you will lose your credibility, and you will never get it back. Next, the target audience should be allowed to respond on the blog. This is an important feature of blogs. It's important because it allows for consumers to complain, maybe even post arguments, but these complaints and arguments should not dominate the discussion. To keep it from dominating the discussion, blogs should be monitored. This brings me to my next and final point. It's important to regularly monitor your blog and others' blogs. Look for what is being said about your company, about its products, people, competitors, and industry issues. There are several tools you can use to monitor the blogosphere, including Technorati, Google Alert, and BlogPulse. These are blog search engines. You can also subscribe to media monitoring and measurement services, which offer more comprehensive and consistent coverage than any single blog search engine. Based on my last two podcasts, I hope you can see that company blogs can be effective ways to connect with consumers and employees. However, to be most effective, a company needs to plan before creating a blog, and they also need to follow some guidelines after launching a company blog. Please look for my next podcast in about a month.